Can you imagine a world where your business can thrive internationally, where taxes are manageable and your assets are protected? What if I told you there's a way to make that happen? By setting up an offshore company in the UK. And don't worry, it's simpler than you think. Stick with me, and I'll walk you through every step. Let's start with something simple. What exactly is an offshore company? You've probably heard the term a lot, but what does it really mean? An offshore company is basically a business that's set up outside the country where the owner lives. Let's say you live in the US, but you want your business to be based somewhere else for legal, tax, or financial reasons. That's what makes it offshore. So while your business might be incorporated in the UK, it operates internationally. And here's the best part, it allows you to take advantage of different rules, lower taxes, and added privacy. In fact, the UK is one of the most popular places for offshore companies because of how easy they make it for non-residents to get started. Now, why would you want to set up an offshore company in the UK? It's not like they have the lowest taxes in the world, right? Well, true, but the UK offers something very important: tax treaties. The UK has tax treaties with over 100 countries. This means that if you run your business from abroad, you can avoid paying taxes twice on the same income. So while the taxes themselves might not be the lowest, these treaties can help you keep more of your money. Another reason people choose the UK is the low maintenance cost. It's actually cheaper to maintain an offshore company in the UK compared to other places like Norway or New Zealand. And guess what? You don't even need a huge amount of money to start. Unlike many other countries, the UK doesn't require a minimum share capital. You don't need to have a lot of money in the bank or locked up as company capital. Plus, if your company's turnover is below 10.2 million, you won't need an audit. That means less paperwork, less stress. So now you're probably wondering what types of businesses you can set up as a non-resident in the UK. Don't worry, there are options that can fit almost any business need. Private limited company limited. This is perfect if you want flexibility and protection. It's owned privately, which means your shares are not publicly traded. You get limited liability, which is a big advantage. That means if something goes wrong, you aren't personally on the hook for the company's debts. International business company IBS. Need something fast and simple? This is the one for you. It's great for engaging in international trade, and it has fewer reporting requirements. That means less paperwork for you. Limited liability company LLC. This is for those of you who want even more protection from liabilities. An LLC protects its members from company debts. You also get a lot of flexibility with how the company is managed. Each of these company types offers protection and benefits, depending on how you want to run your business. Alright, now let's get to the part you've been waiting for. How to actually set up your offshore company. It may sound complicated, but it's really not, especially if you follow these steps. Step 1. Verify your legal status. First things first, make sure you have the proper legal status. If you're not a UK resident, you'll likely need a work visa to operate a business in the UK. It's important to get this step out of the way early, so that you don't run into issues later on. Step 2. Choose a trade name. Next, pick a name for your company. Sounds simple, but there's more to it than you might think. Your name needs to be unique, and you'll need to add a suffix like led or corp. It's the face of your business, so choose wisely. Step 3. Get expert help. Here's where things can get a little tricky, and that's why it's smart to work with a business expert. These professionals know the legal ins and outs, and can help make the process go smoothly. They'll help with everything from paperwork to dealing with UK authorities. I will recommend you try First Formation or Incorpook. Check them out inside this video description. Step 4. Prepare your documents. To get your company registered, you'll need to submit some important documents. Here's a list of what you'll need. A copy of your passport, names of all directors, details about shareholders, the company's name and registered address, the registration forms like the IN01 form. Step 5. Submit the documents. Once you've gathered everything, submit the documents to the proper UK authorities for verification. You'll also need to register your company with HMRC, which is the UK's tax office. Step 6. Open an offshore bank account. Last but definitely not least, you'll need to open a bank account. This is where you'll manage your business finances, handle transactions, and keep everything in order. Working with a business expert like Incfile can also make this step much easier. So why go through all this effort? Let me tell you, it's worth it. Setting up an offshore company in the UK comes with a ton of benefits. One of the biggest perks is privacy. Offshore companies provide an extra layer of confidentiality. Many countries don't disclose the owners of offshore companies, so your information is protected. It's like having your business in a safe box. With an offshore company, your assets are better protected. If you ever face legal troubles or someone tries to claim your property, your offshore setup makes it harder for them to touch your assets. Setting up a company in the UK gives you international respectability. You can own property in different countries and reduce the risk of losing assets due to changes in local laws. Of course, no system is perfect, and setting up an offshore company has its challenges too. One potential downside is that proving ownership can be tricky. Offshore companies are private by design, and that means there's no public register showing you as the owner. If legal issues arise, proving that you own the business could be complicated. Another thing to keep in mind is that while you may get tax benefits in the UK, you still need to follow the tax rules of your home country. When you bring money back home, you may be required to pay taxes on it. And there you have it. Setting up an offshore company in the UK is not just for the ultra-rich or huge corporations. It's for smart entrepreneurs like you who want to protect their assets, lower their taxes, and expand globally. The process isn't as difficult as it may seem, and the benefits are well worth the effort. If you need help getting started, check out the links in the description below. We've partnered with Incfile to make the process easier for you. They'll handle the registration and setup, and you only pay the state filing fees. Don't wait. Start today and take your business to the next level.